Hey guys, Jeremy here with KISS Aquatic Systems. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. So today we're going to try and answer a question that probably almost every pond owner has asked at one point or another. And that question is, how much bigger are koi than goldfish really? So of course the context and the reason for the question is most pond owners have great success with goldfish, and one day they go to a store and they see the cutest little baby koi, and it follows their finger, and they want to know if they can take it home. So obviously everyone knows that koi are bigger than goldfish, but how much bigger really? So let's start with some background information on koi and goldfish. Both koi and goldfish were bred from carp. They were bred from different kinds of carp in different countries at different times, but the body shape is pretty similar, and the diet is very similar, and the behavior. They're both very smart, friendly, and active fish. They seem to get along well with each other, at least when they're of similar sizes, and baby koi really do look a lot like very small goldfish, with a cute little pair of barbels. So, let's see if we can figure out how much bigger koi really are than goldfish. So let's use some really simple math to try to answer that question. So first we're going to compare a 6-inch adult goldfish with a 12-inch koi. Not a perfect comparison because 6 inches is a reasonable size for an adult goldfish, but most koi should get a lot bigger than 12 inches. But the math is really easy here, so let's start with this one. So, what do you guys think? How much bigger is a 12-inch koi than a 6-inch goldfish with roughly the same body shape? So, probably the most common answer that you get to that question is it's twice the size, which seems to make sense because 12 inches is twice as long as 6 inches, so if the fish is twice as long, it should probably be twice the size. Actually, this answer is completely wrong. The truth is that 12-inch koi is at least 8 times, probably closer to 10 times the size of that 6-inch goldfish. So why is that the case? Well, it helps when you think about fish, koi, goldfish, as 3-dimensional objects. So they don't just have length, they also have width and height. And the way to figure out how big something is, how much volume it takes up, is to multiply those 3 things together. If the koi and the goldfish are of the same shape, then not only is that 12-inch koi twice the length of the goldfish, but it also is twice the width and twice the height. So when you multiply those 3 things together, you will have a fish that takes up 8 times the amount of space as the goldfish. You don't believe me? Plug in some numbers, you'll get the same ratio. So if any of you guys have ever seen some of those koi growth tables that chart out the lengths and weights of typical koi as they grow, usually what you'll see is the assumption is that as a koi doubles in size, its weight, or as a koi doubles in length, I should say, its weight goes up by a factor of 10. So that's because koi typically get thicker as they grow. So that 12-inch koi is probably bigger than 8 6-inch goldfish. It's probably closer to 10 of them, and if it's a nice healthy female, maybe even considerably more than that. So let's move on from that example to a more realistic example, which is comparing an adult goldfish size to an adult koi. 6 inches is probably fair for a goldfish, and koi, let's just say koi should be able to reach about 18 inches at adulthood. So what does an 18-inch koi look like? You can see my fish, they're probably about 18 inches on average. They're young though, they should have a decent amount of growth ahead of them. If they don't, I'm gonna cook them. So eat up, guys. Anyway, a 18-inch koi is 3 times the length of a 6-inch goldfish, or an adult goldfish. Also, at least 3 times the width, and 3 times the height. So you're talking about, at adulthood, a koi is at least 27 times the size of a goldfish. Clearly a massive difference there in footprint. Koi really are huge fish. They eat huge amounts of food, create huge amounts of poop, use up tons of oxygen, and really do need a large volume of open water to swim in order to really be happy. So this huge difference in scale, I think it's probably the #1 reason why koi ponds are typically designed and built very, very differently than the kinds of water gardens that goldfish can thrive in. Just something to think about. Thanks guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Take care and happy ponding.